Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. How you doing? Good morning, Sly. Good morning, Thalia. Good morning, Eric, who got the number one crown this morning. Have you noticed the crown system? That's pretty fun. If you're one of the first chatters, you get a crown for the day as one of the top chatters. That's pretty awesome. I'm back. I'm alive. Oh my gosh. How many of you were on yesterday? If you were, you got to see something that doesn't generally happen, me fall apart within 6 minutes of the broadcast. So thanks for coming back today. That was obviously unintentional. But happy to be on, happy to be broadcasting live. Hope y'all are seeing the show this morning. I think you are. Chandra, thank you so much. I do feel much better. Good to see you, Laura. And everybody else, oh, there he is. Anderson report. Oh, no alert this morning. That's not good. Yeah, not sure why. Maybe I posted it up a little too early, but good to know. We're always just fixing something around here. Well, hey, let's get away. Let's get through the main parts today. Good morning, Jen. First off, it is 10:02 a.m. on a wonderful Tuesday morning in Puerto Vallarta. It is May the 5th. I'm glad to be back. Thank you, Maria. Happy to be back. As a matter of fact, let's throw out a couple more good mornings. Hey, good morning to everybody. Yeah, that's kind of fun. All right, let's have a look outside really quick. It's a beautiful day in Vallarta. Here you go. Quick shot out the window this morning. It's a beautiful day. I feel good. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have you all back. It's never fun when we have to end a show within 6 minutes, but that's just part of it. Yes, I am. Hey, good morning, Lilia. Good to see you. All right, let's see what's on tap today. We missed a lot yesterday, and I'm really sorry for that. Morning, Dan. Good to see you. Yesterday, I made it through about 6 minutes of the show if you were with me, and I was covering our glamping anniversary weekend, and I just couldn't do it any justice. So I was doing so much to get through it. I know you miss being here. We probably miss you being here too. Glad to see you this morning, MidPro 17. So sorry about that yesterday. So what I'm going to do is, because I do want to cover that glamping story and I do want to share a bit about the location and our weekend, I will redo that story at the end, but I'll redo it live because yesterday I kind of covered it like this. So we really enjoyed glamping. What's going on with the camera? Hang on, give me a second here, folks. Always something. There we go. Okay. Yeah, if you saw my production yesterday or heard it, I was pretty much like, yeah, we really enjoyed glamping. It was pretty rough. So we'll put that at the end of the show. In case you saw it yesterday, I'll do a better version today. To answer your question, John, they are supposed to be in service, but I have not personally seen them yet. So the way this news works is until I see it, I don't believe it. But, we have a lot of really great viewers on right now. Maybe they've seen the new electric buses, but there were supposed to be 27 of them in service. And so I've not heard positive or negative if they're out there. But you know what? Thanks for bringing it up. I think they're really important, and I hope that we get an update soon. Also, the big news last weekend was, of course, the Puerto Vallarta downhill, and I'm very sure the Anderson report will have something to share on casual. Maybe we'll share that during the week. I don't know. It's been kind of it's kind of like my wife and I chatted about. It's been kind of a no news is good news for the last few days, and that's okay too. We like to have great news, but every now and then it's nice to have a little bit of break. Good morning, buenos dias, Puerto Vallarta real estate guys. Good to see you here. But let's jump into the news. Like I said, Anderson report I know put together a real good post on the Gen X group, and thank you for that. And it reminded me of that. And I know the downhill was a big event. It was really exciting to see like the riders at the different venues in town after the event ended. I know they got a big picture with Mark, the owner of Pink Pony, out there. I know that Asphalt Radio was out there. Shout out to Jesse. Thanks for covering me on the news last night, by the way. Oof, I was not feeling good. And she got some interviews with them. I know Dan was on that interview as well. But what a great event that was. I'm sorry I missed it, but I was really enjoying my anniversary. All right. Let's jump into the news. So first up, let's talk about the reconstruction of the Desembocada Bridge. Y'all know this bridge? The Desembocada Bridge, let me give you a shot of it here really quick. There it is. So this is at some point during its reconstruction, but the reconstruction of the La Desembocada Bridge has reached about the 40% milestone as crews work around the clock to beat the upcoming rainy season. Following the total demolition of the original structure, which suffered irreversible damage during the events of 222, and you heard about it live right here, the Secretariat of Infrastructure and Public Works has accelerated its timeline. Construction teams are currently operating in multiple shifts, including weekends, with the goal of completing the project by the final week in May. Hey, good morning from Gloucester. You know, I'm one of the few people that can say that correctly because I used to live in Boston. Morning from Gloucester. How you doing? So state officials and Mayor Luis Ernesto Munguia recently conducted a site inspection, confirming that the reinforcement of the foundation is complete and the first set of structural beams is being positioned now. So reopening this section of Highway 544 is an absolute priority for the region, as it serves as a vital link for international resident community and local agricultural sectors in Las Palmas and the surrounding rural areas. If current progress holds, the bridge is expected to be fully operational before the first heavy rains of June and restoring the primary connection between Puerto Vallarta and the Sierra Occidental. That's amazing. You know what that deserves? I bet you do. It deserves a coffee cam. What do y'all want the music or not the music? Let's just tease it. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot my cheers and a little bit of
coffee time on PVRN. Hey, clink those cups, let's wake again. Sip the truth with
do it with me. It's kind of fun.
Coffee time, let the news roll in.
All right, let the news roll in is the key thing. So let's get back to it. That was fun. All right, raise the roof. I know. All right, moving on. And a quick reminder before we jump into our next story, and this is going to be an important one because it's something that's happening tomorrow that you're going to want to know about. But don't be the person that doesn't know about the story. So please take a moment, subscribe to my channel right over here, hit the bell. If you're new, especially, that's the way you get alerts. Just accept all the notifications, and that way when the show's coming up, you get an alert. Maybe you didn't get one today, but most of the time you will get an alert. Also, if you want to contact me anytime, definitely hit me up on pvrnmx@gmail.com. Shoot me a news story, shoot me a hello, shoot me a photo you want to share. Shoot me something about an event that you're putting on. I love to talk about stuff that's going on. Absolutely love that. All right. Hey, new sushi place open this weekend. I'm looking forward to the Anderson Report on that one. Who loves the Anderson Report? I do. This guy. All right. Moving on and upward. We got something to tell you about tomorrow. So tomorrow it is going to be the earthquake tsunami drill. So this is a reminder. I told you about this a few days ago, but you know, we're all just doing stuff and we got stuff going on, living here in paradise. So here's the update. So Jalisco is going to carry out, in all of Jalisco, the 2026 National Macro Earthquake Drill tomorrow. It's an earthquake and tsunami drill. That's May 6th. That's tomorrow. And it's scheduled for 11 a.m. And they're usually pretty on time with these, which is great. So this is going to be simulating an 8.0 M8.0 Pacific earthquake and a tsunami of more than 5 meters. That's like 15 feet and change for us non-meter people. And that's according to state civil protection authorities. The government of Jalisco, through the Unidad Estatal de Protección Civil y Bombarderos, that's a mouthful, has formally called on residents, businesses, schools, hospitals, and public institutions to participate in the national simulation. Again, scheduled for tomorrow, May the 6th at 11 a.m. Let me give you a little AI-generated chart there. So the exercise is titled Jalisco Preventado Ante los Desastres, is designed to strengthen emergency readiness and test evacuation and response protocols across the entire state of Jalisco. The official scenario establishes a hypothetical magnitude 8.0 earthquake, as I mentioned, with an epicenter in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chamala La Huerta at a depth of 13 kilometers. It's a lot of details, but you know, it's important. Authorities note that such an event would produce strong to severe shaking. We know we've been through a 7.7 here, folks. and along the entire coastal corridor. So potential damage of vulnerable infrastructure and temporary disruption of basic services, of course, would happen. And it's better to be ready than not ready. So under the same drill, the state will also simulate the formation of a tsunami, again with waves exceeding 5 meters and expected to reach the coast 7 to 14 minutes after the quake, based upon where that epicenter is located in this simulation. So Civil Protection Director Sergio Ramirez Lopez emphasized that prevention is a shared responsibility, noting that large-scale drills help to save lives. In the most recent statewide drill on September 19th, 2025, more than 2.95 million people participated, with nearly 20,000 buildings evacuated as part of the training and the preparation, which is demonstrating really the growing commitment to preparedness across Jalisco. Now, one more time to clarify, this is a drill. There will be no real shaking, no gigantic waves or shutdowns of services. Now, you're going to hear a public alert and carry out the preparation practice if your building or where you live is doing it, or maybe even consider, here's a great idea. Consider sharing this with your friends and family, because honestly, we're going to see a ton of posts about this. We're going to see a lot of people get panicked and nervous. So really share my news pass with all your folks on Facebook and everywhere else before tomorrow, so they kind of have an idea what's going on. Hey, Mox NL, you found me. Who are you? I only can see your screen name, but I'm glad you found me. But with that, I will wish you a good morning. Yes, I'm glad you found me. Tell me what your name is. I will try to my best to remember that. And don't forget, you found me because you subscribed to my YouTube channel and got notified, or I told you, one thing or another. All right, moving on into the news. Did y'all see that Black Hawk helicopter last weekend? Let me switch over to that really quick. So last weekend, we had a Black Hawk helicopter cruising by. I saw it real time. We were at an engagement party for some friends, and I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to get some messages about that. But the good news is, I didn't really get any messages. I feel like we're all beginning to maybe get a little bit more calmness. We're never going to be like it was before 222 for a little while, but the Black Hawk went by and nobody panicked too much, which I'm glad. So let me give you a little update of what it's about. And again, I was going to share this story yesterday before I fell ill on air. So during the holiday weekend, the Jalisco State Police deployed their Black Hawk helicopter. Didn't even know they had one. Oh, there you go. Hi. Good to see you, Reese. To survey the beaches and tourist hotspots of Puerto Vallarta. The chopper provided a dramatic sight for visitors. I thought it was pretty impressive when it went by, because it was performing low altitude flyovers along the coastline. So this aerial presence was part of a coordinated effort involving the state preventative police and the road police to ensure the safety of tourists flocking to the coast for a Labor Day long weekend. Now, while the helicopter's presence created a bit of awe and concern amongst beachgoers, its mission was focused on surveillance and rapid response. By patrolling both the urban areas, the Black Hawk served as a deterrent against criminal activities, and helped manage the heavy flow of traffic during the holiday peak season and that weekend last weekend. So with that, I'm kind of glad to see the government, stepping up and, having that show of force out there. And once again, good morning, Pat. Good to see you. I know you, and nice to see you. Glad you came in. I love it. I think you're a first timer, so you definitely get another good morning. Welcome to the show. So yeah, glad to see that. I'm glad that, I don't love that Puerto Vallarta has to have this and Nayarit, but at least we're showing, there's force, we're strong, and don't mess with PV, yo. All right, moving onward. Let's grab a cup of coffee really quick. So here we go with the coffee cam. Y'all ready to do it? Let's do it. Cheers, y'all. Okay, so here's a story I was going to cover yesterday, but I fell ill before I got to it. So I was so happy. Laura and I made it out to the IMPV show again. And it's funny, this one has a little bit of a backstory, I think. And I know Talia's on right now, and so she'll chime in the chat if I say anything wrong, of course. But she's a great friend. I really appreciate her inviting Laura and I to the event. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the IMPV show that I talked about last week, which is kind of movie related. It wasn't kind of movie related. It's very movie related. And it's funny because at the end of the last concert I went to, I did talk to Talia afterwards. I said, man, do y'all ever do like John Williams or movie things? And she's like, well, it's not really our thing. And then lo and behold, here it is. So maybe I'm an influencer. Maybe not. I don't know. But any way you look at it, great job, IMPV. It was a great event. I want to share a bit of it with you, though. So it was last weekend, and we got to attend the second performance because there was one in Nuevo first, and this one was at the Los Mangos Library, and IMPV Ensemble, who delivered a cinematic night to remember. So this time around, it was featuring music from Star Wars, Bridgerton, Schindler's List, Princess Mononoke, and much, much more. And the show actually opened with one of my favorite songs from the entire Star Wars franchise. And I'm going to share it with you. It's the Imperial March from Empire Strikes Back. And they just did a great job with it. Check this out. Awesome stuff there. Awesome stuff there. That was really fun. So also local talent and my personal friend Sarah Joy was there. There's the Los Mangos Library. If you're not familiar with it, what a beautiful location. They do a lot of great stuff. I know my friend Chrissy, who runs one of the groups here, was heading over there to do a Spanish-English sharing class there, which is really cool. But local talent and friend Sarah Joy then joined the ensemble for a few standout numbers, including a rendition of Beyonce's Halo and a tear-inducing rendition of Bring Him Home from Les Miserables. It was really, really special. It was a great night for a great, great cause. And special thanks to Talia. I just saw, love sharing the magic of the event with you. Thank you, Talia. Right on tour with Vallarta Nautical Tour 2050. I know who you are, Talia. Good enough. It was a great night for the cause, and huge thanks for you and the entire IMPV team for inviting us out. There she is, proud moment. She had just handed out the 50/50 raffles, and so nice that the audience member who won it donated it all right back to the organization. I really love when that happens, and I think that's a great move. So glad it was a successful event for you guys. I really had a great time. So let me tell you a little bit about IMPV while I have you. So the Instituto de Artes Musicales de Puerto Vallarta is a nonprofit dedicated to providing accessible, high-quality music education for the youth across the region. Through mentorship and free programs, IMPV connects the young musicians with professionals offering instruments and instruction to more than 100 students in an underserved community. Sustained entirely by private donors and sponsors like you, IMPV continues to build a stronger, more harmonious Puerto Vallarta, one performance at a time. And as a big supporter of IMPV's mission, PVRN will always try to inform my viewers, you all, about upcoming events and concerts so you never miss out on this special local organization. And side note, here's something I learned that I didn't know before. One of their missions is building a local opera house. So your donations and memberships not only help to build our local community through teaching music, we can also work together to create a future auditorium that we can all enjoy. I love that. Pretty awesome stuff. I learned something new at the show, and I hope that you guys can get that opera house. I think it would be amazing. I know there's a big goal to get there, but every membership, every donation counts. So just check out IMPV. Just search for it on Facebook. Reach out to Talia. There's tons of ways to find it. So with that, I will definitely give IMPV a quick coffee can, and of course, a nice little cheers. Boop. There you go. Yeah, great times, great times. And Thalia, thanks for joining this morning to check out the show while you're out there. All right, moving on. So this is an event or my last weekend. I did cover this yesterday, but once again, it was the glamping that we did over the weekend, and I would like to share a little bit about it. It was really nice to go out there and get to the, off the beaten path, but I really was like, dying during the sharing of this story yesterday. So let me share a little bit with you. I've got some photos I can share as well, but here it is without dying during giving it. So those who are seeking to trade city traffic for Mount Serenity you've got to check out Cumbres Los Veranos, who offers premier glamping experience just south of the city. Now, it's only about an hour away. Let me pull up a slide for that real quick. Here we go. There we are. So this is actually the glamping area we had, that one right there in the front with the hot tub and the dome. It has a private bathroom right there and the covered area for eating and eating or cooking out. And so the entire site, it features 3 domes. But the standout is Dome La Cumbre, which is that one in front, as the largest site on the property, and provides an expansive private footprint featuring a hot tub, a dedicated grilling area, an amazing view of the mountains. There's the view of just right outside our window, and if you stepped outside, you saw the mountains, you could hear the donkeys and the roosters at all times of the day and night, but that's part of being in the country. So the entire site, it has the 3 domes, and now the dome itself balances the rugged outdoors with modern essentials. Let me explain what I mean. It has a small kitchen, a fridge, a pretty good air conditioning, and the experience is really defined by the views. And our stay was punctuated by a spectacular full moon rise. But first and foremost, I got to give a shout out to this dog. There was a couple of them, but he came up to hang out with us all night and then stayed there all night right outside of our dome to protect us, kind of like our own little personal guard dog. He was awesome. I named him Brutus because he just kind of bashed into everything and smashed everything with his tail. So I missed you, Brutus. Had a great time with you. So we were accompanied by the friendly local dogs who guarded us. And I would say the hospitality is seamless. The staff provided great communication in English or Spanish. They sent some nice videos to make sure we could see. Oh, my camera's off again. Hang on one second. Let me fix that. There we go. To make sure that we were well taken care of. We did pre-order some wine, as you can see in that photo there. I would maybe pass on the charcuterie board. That was a little bit underwhelming, but it wasn't really the reason we were there anyways. So that wasn't that big of a deal. Now, we brought our own portable grill and our own food, so we cooked out. But I would say the facilities are really top tier. It was really beautiful out there. I would say it's modern. They had a modern private restroom. They do have a community fire pit for evening gatherings. And for those who enjoy local excursions, bonus, the Vallarta Botanical Gardens is located just 6 minutes away, and it's an ideal stop for breakfast, lunch, afternoon or morning of bird watching, which Laura's really into. And, if you happen to be an annual member of the gardens like we are, what a bonus, because you can just drive 6 minutes, park, go down there, have lunch, walk around, do some hiking. It was really great. Now, with that, I also want to say we had an amazing moonrise. This is actually the moon rising over the mountains in the evening, right from our dome. Laura was so great to capture some of these photos, and it just kind of came right up and rose up. It was really amazing. It was really pretty cool. But let me give you something. So given this is a very honest review, I want to say, to make the stay truly perfect, I would just make a couple recommendations. So maybe include some coffee in the room, because there was a coffee machine, but I think maybe this was just a miss on their part. I think that they just maybe forgot to put the coffee in the day. I bet you usually get it. But I would also consider maybe a no loudspeaker policy at the property to preserve the quiet atmosphere, as it was a Mexican holiday. There was a bit of loud music going on around 7 or 8 or p.m. the first night, and then the next morning at 8 a.m. we rose to Michael Jackson, Just Beating It, and Billie Jean it all morning. So while that music was kind of fun and good, the domes are kind of close together, so it was a little bit much. But again, it didn't make us say, oh my gosh, we're never going to go back there again. It was just maybe a bit of a recommendation to do that. And yeah, I agree with you, Talia. It is a great place to disconnect, and the owners are super nice. So I would consider this an ultimate getaway, but I would also give you a bit, maybe this is the idea. Find 2 more couple friends, or a bunch of friends, and maybe just book all 3 of the domes there, so you know that you're going to be in a group of friends. You enjoy the entire retreat. You can sit around the campfire, and everybody's on the same page regarding sounds and music and all that fun stuff. So listen, you can find their website for more information. Again, just Google search for Cumbres, Cumbres, Los Veranos, Veranos, and make your escape. So don't escape from me. Make sure you're always subscribing to YouTube. We're almost done. I know today's show was just a little bit longer, But I feel like I needed to catch up from yesterday and also, add a little bit of news today. But that's pretty much the end of the show. So I do want to remind you, always support my sponsors. They really, really help this show move forward. As a matter of fact, I'm even wearing one of the sponsor shirts today, South of the Burger. Yeah, best burgers in Vallarta. And I am not kidding. I mean, trust me, they don't pay me enough to ever say anybody's the best burger, but they are one of the best. So go check them out. PV Aesthetics, big shout out as well. But I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm happy to be healthy. I'm happy to be back. And thank you so much for tuning in to PVRN, Puerto Vallarta Real News. And I will see you all mañana.